Let's chat about the Ciara Renée Gun and Powder lawsuit. That's the Broadway transfer under the new name Wanted. What happened according to the lawsuit that she filed, and some of the information that's conveniently missing from some of the news coverage and comment sections about this. Warning in advance, this is boring but important, okay? Our phones have broken our brains and you won't have the attention span to get through this whole video. So every time it's getting a little boring, I'm gonna insert a Ciara clip to like help us lock in again, okay? You're safe here, I promise. One more boring note. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not your lawyer. This is not legal advice. Don't use it as such. So let's start with background and some of the timeline from the court documents. Ciara Renée, a Broadway veteran, was cast in a lead role of a production of Gun and Powder at Paper Mill Playhouse. And here are the producers who are the rights holders, Alecia Parker and Sammy Lopez. They will become more important later in the story. So around November 2023, Ciara signed a written agreement with these producers to work on Gun and Powder. Here's what it said according to the court documents. She agreed to provide her acting and singing services in the role of Mary Clark to be performed at the Paper Mill Playhouse in Millburn, New Jersey for a limited run in return for certain monetary compensation, and two, this is the important one, the right to continue such services in a production of the play mounted by Sisters Clark LLC in New York City or London upon completion of good faith negotiations to determine plaintiff's monetary compensation for such services. Don't believe me, that's why. She performed this role at Paper Mill Playhouse, got glowing reviews for her standout performance. Then in July 2024, about 2 months after the Paper Mill Playhouse run, she was asked to be part of the studio recording. This is a common next step when producers are seeking a Broadway transfer. It's like another thing to offer producers a nugget for them to invest in. Ciara received a flat fee for this, which is common in this stage. The next step, in late July 2024, the producers then asked her to come out to Martha's Vineyard. She was introduced as a member of the future cast, and she was not paid for this time, right? She was not paid to travel or the time that she spent there schmoozing with investors. In October 2024, she was asked to attend an event in Harlem on November 18th on behalf of Paper Mill Playhouse, which she attended with some of the other actors in the cast. Again, gala, have to be on all night, representing the producers, this entity, this show. And I believe this was a complimentary appearance as well. Then on November 27th, 2024, not the night before a major American holiday or anything, Ciara gets a phone call from the producers. They're letting her know that 6 days after the last time they used her complementary labor for their business needs, that they actually no longer needed her. They're moving in a different direction. And to add insult to injury, unreasonableness to injury, they allegedly said on this phone call that Ciara materially failed to collaborate in the process at Paper Mill Playhouse, that she was unwilling to accept feedback. It's so interesting that all of this is coming up in late November when the show ended in like May, right? And so crazy it came up after the staged reading as well, when they had another opportunity to go over notes. Then on August 14th, about a week ago, what I can only assume is after months of behind the scenes attempts at quiet negotiations to get this settled, because literally who wants a lawsuit in this industry right now, this lawsuit was filed. So now that we have some more background, let's take some questions from the comment section, starting with the stupid ones. First of all, from Matt, you mean I can sue every time I'm not cast in something? No, Matt, only if you have a legally reasonable case and a binding contract that they breached. She didn't sue because she wasn't cast. She sued because producers breached a written agreement that they promised to negotiate in good faith with her about. And also, a New York City lawyer or New Jersey lawyer would not take a fucking case against this huge arts and culture org, against these producers, unless it was like pretty good. $500,000? What planet is she on? Ciara is living on a planet where they do math and legal reasoning. I didn't quite get to the money side of the producer's office, but what I understand is that like $3 to $5K base pay and a percentage of box office and other bonuses is pretty common for a star of this size, and 9 months is a reasonable contract period for a really big Broadway transfer when they put this kind of language in her contract. And it doesn't even assume that the show does well at the Tonys, right? I think it's a very reasonable, legally conservative amount to look into. There were a couple comments that were just like, she should have just asked for the equity buyout amount. This is too much. First of all, who's to say that this is the number that she started with in private negotiations? And this number, you have to factor in a lot of things when you're hedging a bet on a public trial, right? That's where the legal reasoning comes in. It's also important to understand, and judges take this into account as well, the value that she added to this show. She helped to build investor confidence, right? She was introduced at investor events as a member of the future Broadway cast. All of these raised the commercial profile and raised investor value in this show prior to transferring to Broadway.
You matter to me. Simple and plain and not much to ask from somebody.
Then we've got a bunch of white guys talking about their own experiences on shows, their friends' experiences on shows, and then projecting these experiences onto Ciara, and then telling her that she shouldn't be making such a big deal about all of this. I urge all of these men and women to use their God-given skills of reading comprehension and analysis before giving someone career advice in a comment section. Here we've got bootstraps mentality, individual responsibility, classic over on Actorgram, Actor Talk. How about this? I'll throw something in here. If we all should take responsibility here, why don't the producers take some responsibility? Maybe they should have put subject to change casting at producer's whim on the posts. Oh, and also, if they were unsatisfied with their work, they have a duty to inform her and give her the chance to cure the alleged issue. That's standard contract law. Not calling her a day before Thanksgiving to tell her that her behavior a couple of months ago was unacceptable and they just thought about it after just using her for another gala event. Another classic, aren't all actors replaceable? Professional acting is actually something that we call labor, and labor is something in America, at least for now, we still have some rights around. And many of these rights revolve around contracts and agreements, which is actually exactly what this is talking about. And they can replace someone if they follow the rules of the agreement that they wrote. Last of all, my favorite, that's show business. Unfortunately, that's show business. That's show business, folks. The fact is that show business is just business, and businesses only exploit labor as long as we let them. And pointing to things as they currently are and saying, that's just the way they've always been, is small-minded. I think that it's our responsibility as artists and creatives to be future-looking and to stand up for this kind of shitty behavior so that it doesn't happen to the generation of artists in front of us, right? We're supposed to be taking care of them. Let's use this opportunity to make sure that the next generation of creatives know that this behavior is never okay and strike fear into the heart of the fuckshit producers who want to try to pull this behind the scenes. Actual lawyers, feel free to add notes in the comment section to what I said. As I said, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. This is just a girl and her cat talking about musical theater.